Welcome back to Project 380. In this video, the Mark 1 is getting a new look to the front end. So with the show season approaching and the Mark II still stuck in my parents' garage, I thought I'd buy a few odds and ends for the front end of the Mark 1 just to make it look a little bit less stock than it is now. And one thing that really concerned me, especially when I went to Jass and Caffeine and Machine last year, is I've got no front toe and eyes. So I'll be taking off the front bumper to install some new ones. I've got a nice new grille to replace the rusted out one, a nice lip for the bottom of the bumper sitting in the box there, and this side light has completely disappeared. It's still on and working, but it's somewhere dangling inside the bumper. Safely up on some axle stands now, and I think the first thing I'm going to concentrate on are the side lights. They're just held in with 2 Phillips screws either side. Let's pray they're not too rusty. Well, there's my side light, just sort of hanging in there. Really common problem on these. The plastic housing that holds the bulb itself does get a bit brittle over time and just breaks, but I'm not too worried about that. You'll see why in a little bit. This side light is broken and I really wanted to replace it, and there is definitely part of the side light inside it. Well, I've made a mistake, but hopefully by showing you this, you won't make the same mistake I did. So this was an expensive lesson not to drink an eBay. So I was having a few drinks at Christmas, and I thought, I know what the Mark 1 would need, some more hearts. Drinking and eBay do not mix. For some reason, I decided to buy the heart side lights, which seemed a pretty good idea at the time, but these do not fit whatsoever. Just look at the gap here. It doesn't fit in the bumper right whatsoever. Bit hard to see, but the screw holes don't line up, and I spent ages painting these, and the left hand side isn't much better. That is really poor fitment. So let this be my expensive mistake and not yours. I would avoid these at all costs. Let me know what side lights you think I should put in the Mark 1 in the comments down below. There's no way I'm getting a refund for these, so if anyone wants these, let me know. But just to warn you, they do not fit. But with that major disappointment out of the way, it's time to rip the bumper off so I could put some new toe and eyes in. So the old grille is really rusty, and as you can see, the toe and eyes should sit here, but this old grille has got no cutouts for the toe and eyes. So this can go straight in the bin, and you'll see what I'm replacing it with once we've got the bumper back on. So I've taken the bumper off to fit the new toe and eyes, and they go in these little slots here, and with the bumper on you just can't bolt these into place. Really, you should take the air dam off as well, but I've managed to get this toe and eye on without removing it. It was just a little bit fiddly, so I've cleaned all the threads up, and it's time to put the toe and eye on. I'm just fitting standard ones for now. It's definitely better than nothing. I'm really not sure why this car came without them, and these are handed left and right, as they're both angled differently. At last, after a year, I've finally fitted some front toe and eyes. I'm going to feel a lot safer driving to Jass and Caffeine and Machine knowing that I've got some front toe and eyes. While the bumper was off, I decided to give it a quick polish to get in them hard to reach areas which are a bit difficult to do when the bumper's on the car. bumper's all polished up now and looking a lot better. It's emphasised the stone chips lovely. Now what I was going to do was try and fit the lip while the bumper was on this stand, but by the looks of it, it's going to have to go on the car as it's not quite fitting right. So I'm going to put the bumper back on the car and try again. So I've cleaned everything up where I can, greased all the bolt holes, and I'm ready for the bumper to go back on. I spent ages polishing the bumper and I've just put greasy marks on it. To start bolting the bumper back on, I really want to start with the top bolts up here and then work my way around and down. But of course, this wouldn't be a Project 380 video without at least upgrading something. So I've got the Davefab cooling panel, which covers this area here. Not only does it look cool, but it's actually going to help with the flow through the radiator, hopefully keeping the car a little cooler. So let's get this installed and see what it looks like. The kit comes with 6 nylon spacers, which go between the cooling panel and the bumper. To help keep these nylon spacers in place, I'm going to put a little bit of grease on them and place them where the bolts go. Hopefully that grease is going to help them stay in place. Then you can lift the bonnet latch up and slide the cooling panel into place. Be careful not to disturb those nylon spacers. Davefab do supply you with the stainless steel hardware to bolt this cooling panel down, but if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that I love these fender bolts. I don't know about you guys, but I've just got to have them all orientated the same way. So they are just loosely in there for now. I want to get the rest of the bumper sitting nicely and then I'll come back and do them up tight. But that Davefab cooling panel has made that front end look a lot neater, as long as you don't look at the rest of the rusty mess. Now time to secure the rest of the bumper so I could try fit the new lip. Well, I'm sorry I didn't film any of that. That was actually a 2-person job and took us about half an hour. But that is all on now and looking really good. That just attaches to the bottom of the original bumper with a few tech screws. Now, it was far too difficult to fit by myself, as either my bumper now is not the original shape it should be, or the new lip is slightly splayed out. But what I done was start from one side, matching this corner up with the edge of the bumper, and working my way around, pulling it into the bumper and screwing it on. Now, me and front lips don't really have a great history. I once bought a track dog splitter for the Mark II from the States. It took ages to arrive, and me and a couple of mates spent about 3 hours installing it onto the car, as it had all the adjustable rods that go onto the chassis, and within 15 minutes of it being installed, I had a drifting accident and completely ruined it. So please pray for this front lip. This is probably the only time you're going to see this without any stone chips or tie wraps. Fitting this front lip has caused a little issue for me. Because the lip is the right shape, and possibly the bumper isn't, it's causing to pull the bumper out a little bit, which isn't a problem on this side. But I'll be completely honest with you guys, this wing is completely rotted out, and the bumper just isn't attached to the wing anymore. So it's made a little gap here where the splitter is pulling the bumper out. But I have got new wings and I have got new bumpers. They're just not going on yet. So for now, I am going to have to use a rubber band quick release for the bumper, just to hold this bumper a bit more sturdy and in place. So with the bumper back on and the lip in place, it's time for the final piece. The old rusty grille without the toe and eye cutouts is now completely useless and horrible, destined for the bin. So to replace that, I've got a nice new black grille from Jass Performance with the toe and eye cutouts. Hopefully you can see this on camera, but the grille just slides into place. And you best believe I'm going to be holding it in with these fender bolts. That looks so much better. There's just one thing left to do, and that's to air out the car and see how it sits now with the front lip on. That has made the car look so much lower, and I think has given the front end a completely different look. The only thing now I need to complete the front end look on the Mark 1 is some decent side lights. I'm not even going to fit the old ones for now, as both sides, the side light bulb holder has actually broken and the side lights are just going to rattle around inside. So I'd rather get some new side lights or some new original side lights and a new wiring harness, both sides, to make it look new and fresh rather than putting the old broken ones back in. So all that's left to do is clean all my finger marks off and see what this looks like in the daylight. So that's all for this video. Let me know what you think about the new front end on the Mark 1 in the comments down below, and let me know what you think of my side light situation. As per usual, like, comment, share and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.